Today, we're not just telling a story. We're exploring a bond so powerful it has echoed through thousands of years. It's a story of loyalty, loss, and the kind of love that chooses family, even when every circumstance says it's impossible. We're going back to a time of chaos and uncertainty in ancient Israel, to a period known as the time of the Judges. It was a time when things were, frankly, falling apart. There was no king, no central authority, and everyone did what was right in their own eyes. In the midst of this turbulent world, we find a family in Bethlehem, a man named Elimelech, his wife, Naomi, and their 2 sons. The story opens not with triumph, but with tragedy. A devastating famine has struck their land. Crops failed, and there was no food to be found. Faced with starvation, Elimelech makes a difficult choice, one that countless people have made throughout history. He decides to leave his homeland, his people, and his heritage behind in search of survival. He takes his family across the border to a foreign land called Moab. This was a place with different customs, different people, and different gods. It was a world away from everything they knew. Life in Moab began to settle into a new rhythm. The years went by. Elimelech's sons grew up and married Moabite women, one named Orpah, the other named Ruth. 10 years passed. They had found a new life, a new home, and a new family. But their peace was tragically short-lived. First, the patriarch, Elimelech, died. Can you imagine the grief? A widow in a foreign land. But the pain didn't stop there. Sometime later, both of her sons, Mahlon and Chilion, also died. Can you feel the weight of that? Naomi, now a widow, a mother who has buried both of her children, is left with nothing but her 2 daughters-in-law. She is stripped of her husband, her sons, her home, and her hope. She feels utterly alone, believing that God Himself has turned against her. Finally, Naomi hears a rumor. The famine has lifted in her homeland of Judah. The news awakens a deep longing in her heart. She decides to go back. But what about her daughters-in-law? She feels a tremendous sense of responsibility for them. She knows that as Moabite women, they have no future in Judah. A widow in her own land was already vulnerable, but a foreigner. It was a life of poverty and isolation. With a heavy heart, she turns to Orpah and Ruth and says, "Go back, each of you, to your mother's home. May the Lord show you kindness as you have shown to your dead and to me." She blesses them and gives them her permission to leave, to find a new husband and a new life among their own people. It's an incredibly selfless act. Naomi, in her deepest grief, is willing to sacrifice companionship and help for the sake of these young women she loves. Orpah understands. She weeps. She embraces her mother-in-law, and she makes the difficult but logical choice to return to her own people. Her choice is completely understandable, and there's no judgment in this story about it. But then there's Ruth. She stands firm. While Orpah turns back, Ruth remains. She refuses to be separated from the woman who is no longer just her mother-in-law, but the only family she has left. Naomi makes one last desperate plea. She says, "Look, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her." But Ruth's heart is set. She has already made her choice, and it's a choice that defies all logic and self-interest. The stage is set for one of the most powerful and beautiful declarations of loyalty in all of human history. This is the moment. Listen to her words, not just as a pretty quote, but as a vow that changes everything. Ruth says to Naomi, "Do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. Think about the weight of each line. Where you go, I will go. This isn't just about a journey. It's about following Naomi into a life of complete uncertainty and likely poverty. Your people will be my people. She is a Moabite, and now she is vowing to embrace a new culture, a new identity, and a new community that will likely see her as an outsider. And then, the most profound line of all. Your God, my God. Ruth isn't just following Naomi, she is choosing Naomi's faith. She is leaving behind the gods of her people for a God she barely knows, all because of the love and faithfulness she has seen in one woman. With those words, Ruth's future is sealed. She has chosen a life of loyalty and sacrifice. Seeing her unwavering resolve, Naomi finally stops urging her. She knows nothing she can say will change Ruth's mind. So, the two of them, a grieving widow and a fiercely loyal daughter-in-law, continue the long, difficult journey to Bethlehem. And this is where our story for today ends. It's a journey filled with uncertainty, but also with an incredible, unbreakable bond. They have no resources, no home, and no one to rely on but each other. But in Ruth's powerful words, they have everything they need. A promise, a commitment, and a love that, as we'll see, will eventually lead to a destiny far greater than either of them could have ever imagined.